In the quiet stretches of Las Cruces, New Mexico, a story unfolded that would leave the community grappling with questions of justice and the human psyche. Today, we delve into the life of Vernon Castle Clark, a man whose actions led him down a path far from ordinary. Vernon, at 37 years old, found himself at the center of a chilling crime scene. It was 2016 when the tranquility of Dona Ana County was shattered. Jose Lopez Perez, a man who crossed paths with Vernon, met a grisly fate. The details are sparse, but the outcome was undeniable. A tire iron, a tool so common yet used in a manner so heinous, became the silent witness to Jose's last breath. Clark's past, once a canvas of anonymity, was now under the microscope. His plea of guilty to voluntary manslaughter spared him a trial for second-degree murder, but not the public's scrutiny. Even behind bars, Vernon's story continued to unfold in troubling ways, with reports of violence against jail officers. It painted a picture of a man struggling against inner and outer demons. As the gavel fell, sentencing Vernon to 14 years, the courtroom was a mosaic of grief and relief. Friends and family of both men were present, a testament to the ripple effect of a single moment's choice. If this glimpse into the human condition has captured your attention, if you find yourself pondering the whys behind the whats, then I invite you to join our journey for truth and understanding. Like, share, and comment your thoughts below. And for those who walk with us through the darker tales of humanity, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Together, we seek answers and honor memories. Who is Vernon Castle Clark? This question echoes through the streets of Las Cruces. A whisper turned into a roar after that fateful day in 2016. Let's step back into the shadows of his past to uncover the man behind the headlines. Vernon, a 37-year-old whose life was as enigmatic as the desert landscape, became the protagonist in a narrative he never wished to write. His background, largely veiled in the privacy of everyday life, only came to light amidst tragedy. What we know is pieced together from court documents and whispers of acquaintances. A man of few words, Vernon's history didn't suggest a proclivity for violence. Yet, the incident with Jose Lopez Perez painted a starkly different portrait. In the aftermath, as Vernon faced the consequences of his actions, reports surfaced of further violence, a hint at turmoil brewing beneath the surface long before it spilled over into irreversible action. As Vernon sits in his cell, the sun setting on the horizon of his freedom, we're left to ponder the road that led him here. What turns did he take? What signs did he, and we, miss along the way? If Vernon's story has stirred something within you, if you find yourself reflecting on the unseen chapters of those around you, join the conversation. Hit the like button, share your insights, and subscribe for more deep dives into the human story. Your voice matters in the narrative we build here. Arguments are born from the clash of words, but it's the silence after that tells the true tale. For Vernon Castle Clark and Jose Lopez Perez, a heated exchange escalated into a silence that would last forever. It began with a disagreement, the kind that happens every day, but on this night, the stakes were fatally high. Words were weapons. And as the argument spiraled, a tire iron became the arbiter of their dispute. What was said? What sparked the fury that led one man to wield a tire iron with deadly intent? These questions haunt the memories of those who knew them. The answers as elusive as shadows in the dusk. In the aftermath, as Jose lay wounded, the tire iron beside him told a story no one wanted to read. A story where anger turned to violence and words to whispers of regret. As we reflect on the tragedy that unfolded, we're reminded of the fragile line between a mere argument and irreversible consequences. Let's take a moment to consider the weight of our words and the strength of our tempers. As the sun rose over Las Cruces, it cast light on a scene that would forever change the fabric of this close-knit community. Jose Lopez Perez, a man known and loved by many, lay motionless, the aftermath of the argument written in the silence of the scene. It was a passerby, out for an early morning walk, who first noticed something amiss. A figure sprawled on the ground, near a car that seemed out of place in the otherwise orderly street. The call to 911 was made with a trembling voice, the reality of the situation sinking in with every ring. As friends and family of Jose were awakened by the grim news, disbelief and sorrow spread like a shadow. How could a man who had just yesterday been full of life and laughter now be the subject of hushed, tearful conversations? For the officers and detectives, it was a grim task to cordon off the area, to protect the integrity of what had become a crime scene. Each one knew that with every piece of evidence collected, a story was emerging, a story of a night gone terribly wrong. The community watched on, hearts heavy as the reality set in. Jose Lopez Perez, once a vibrant thread in the tapestry of Las Cruces, was gone, leaving behind questions that echoed in the silent streets. In the days to come, the investigation would peel back the layers of that night, seeking justice for Jose and solace for those who loved him. But in this moment, as the sun climbed higher, it was a time for grief, for reflection, and for honoring a life lost. In the wake of tragedy, the gears of justice began to turn. Las Cruces Police Department, a hive of determined activity, became the epicenter of an investigation that would captivate the city. Vernon Castle Clark, a name that until recently had been just another among the city's inhabitants, began to emerge as a figure of interest. His connection to Jose, a complex tapestry of interactions that only those who knew them could fully understand. Evidence doesn't lie. And as the detectives delved deeper, the picture became clearer. A tire iron with traces of DNA, a witness account of a heated exchange, and the timeline that placed Clark at the scene. It was a puzzle coming together with Clark at the center. The call for Clark's arrest was made with a heavy heart. For the men and women tasked with upholding the law, it was a bittersweet moment. Justice for Jose was within reach, but the fabric of two lives would forever be marred by the events of that fateful argument. As Clark was taken into custody, questions began to swirl. What had led to the argument? Could this tragic outcome have been prevented? The community looked on, hoping for answers, for understanding, and above all, for justice. As the dawn of accountability breaks, the halls of justice beckon. Vernon Castle Clark, once a mere silhouette in the community, now takes center stage in a legal drama that grips the heart of Las Cruces. Charged with second-degree murder, the weight of the law bears down on Clark. Each hearing, a step closer to a resolution that seems both distant and inevitable. The plea deal, a term often fraught with controversy, enters the narrative. Voluntary manslaughter. The words echo through the courtroom and into the community, stirring a mix of relief and unrest. In the pursuit of justice, the plea is a compromise, a balancing act between the scales of justice and the human quest for mercy. For some, it's a concession. For others, a pragmatic step towards closure. As the judge pronounces the sentence, the finality of the moment is palpable. For the family of Jose Lopez Perez, it's a poignant chapter's end. For Clark, a lifelong burden of consequence. Time marches on, indifferent to the dramas that unfold below. Yet, in the heart of Las Cruces, time has etched a story that will not soon be forgotten, a story of loss, of law, and of the delicate human thread that binds them. In the theater of justice, the final act unfolds. Vernon Castle Clark stands, a man overshadowed by the gravity of his actions, awaiting the words that will chart the course of his fate. 14 years. The number resonates through the courtroom, each year a marker of remorse, rehabilitation, and retribution. The sentence is more than a measure of time. It's a testament to the law's enduring voice. The judge, with a tone both firm and fair, delivers remarks that transcend the individual. They speak to the collective conscience, to the balance of justice and the hope for redemption. As the gavel falls, the sentence reverberates beyond the walls of the courthouse. It's a message to society, a reminder of the consequences that follow when the sanctity of life is disregarded. Clark's journey through the legal labyrinth reaches its conclusion, but the story's ripples extend far beyond today. 14 years to reflect, to grow, to understand the preciousness of the life taken and the lives altered. In the wake of tragedy, the echoes of loss reverberate through the heart of the community. Jose Lopez Perez's absence is a void that the passage of time cannot fill. Families fractured, friends bereft, each seeking solace, each grappling with the ripple effects of a single, irreversible act. The impact is profound, a reminder of the delicate threads that bind us. But in this crucible of sorrow, there's a forging of unity, a collective resolve to honor memory with action, to prevent future heartaches. Narrator, justice, a concept as complex as the human spirit. The plea deal closes a chapter, but does it bring closure? The scales of justice have tipped. Yet for some, the measure feels incomplete. In the eyes of those who mourn, the question lingers, is this justice? Is this the end of their quest for peace, or merely a waypoint on a longer journey of healing? As the community reflects, so too must we all. The story of Vernon Castle Clark and Jose Lopez Perez is a stark reminder of the human cost of crime and the enduring quest for a justice that heals as much as it punishes. As the gavel falls and the courtroom empties, the aftermath of a verdict begins to settle like dust after a storm. For the family of Jose Lopez Perez, the sentencing is not just a line in legal documents, it's a moment that defines their lives moving forward. Statements from the family resonate with a community seeking closure. Each word, a testament to their enduring strength and the love they hold for Jose. And from Vernon Castle Clark, a silence that speaks volumes, leaving many to wonder about the thoughts and remorse that may lie beneath. But this case stretches beyond the confines of a courtroom, rippling into the very fabric of society. It challenges our understanding of violence born from personal disputes, urging a deeper look into the human psyche and the forces that can drive one to irreversible actions. What lessons can we learn? How do we prevent personal grievances from escalating into tragedies? These are questions that linger, prompting a dialogue that we must all engage in. And now I turn to you, my viewers. What are your thoughts on this case? How do you interpret justice served? And what conversations should this ignite in our society? Share your perspectives in the comments below, and let's continue this important conversation. For more deep dives into true crime stories that challenge, educate, and provoke thought, don't forget to subscribe.